Another edition of the On the Mic podcast is here, and Bellator 293 is in the books just about a week ago. And I don't know. I want to say I'm getting in touch with her before her star becomes even brighter. Has not yet tasted defeat inside the cage in her amateur career and in her professional career. If you would have told me watching Bellator 293 that was her professional debut, I would have said you've never watched fighting before. She did not look like a woman making her professional debut with a first-round win over Maria Henderson. She's the one and only Mackenzie Stiller. Mackenzie, thank you for joining me.
Yep, thank you.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, how has your career, obviously it's gone perfectly so far, but how has your career for yourself started off for you, and what was it like being inside the cage for your professional debut in Bellator?
Well, my career really started when I was 8 years old, but I really got into MMA about 2 years ago, and all the fights in amateur really seemed normal, but the Bellator one just felt different. But it was still like, okay, it's just a fight. I just think of it as like a sparring session. I don't dwell on it. I just do what I do and do it. And it just felt a little different than the amateur stages.
Obviously, you're well known for your judo, your wrestling, your Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but you were so on point with everything. You said it felt a little different in there. But did everything just click for you in that fight? Because I swear to God, you look like a 10-year veteran inside the cage on that night.
I mean, I guess it did click. I wasn't like nervous, and everything that I was doing, I was thinking I was doing, like I was thinking of it before I did it, and I did it. My striking needs a little micro adjustments or macro adjustments, in my opinion. But other than that, once I get my striking down, I'm unstoppable.
Yeah, you say micro adjustments. I don't want to get my ass kicked. I would say that's crazy because, again, everything looks so tight, looks so crisp all the way through. Just as the fight played out, and obviously I think that, on the broadcast, they said, you faced a very slight moment of adversity, and then you overtook it, and obviously that led to the finish, getting the first round armbar against Maria Henderson, wife of Benson Henderson. But in that, was there ever a point in that first round where you're like, all right, I'm getting her out of here right now?
No, I was just doing what she did. I just went with the flow. I don't know, you shouldn't go to your back in like, I don't think you should go to your back in an MMA match unless it's like a crazy scramble. But she went to her back, and she tried doing the heel hook, and I already knew to crush her and hit her in the face. Like it's not a jiu-jitsu competition, it's MMA. You can turn a black belt into a white belt real fast.
Yeah, and you did just that. But what's next? And obviously there's a lot more I could ask you about that fight, right? But with just a few minutes of cage action, there's not much I can ask. But what's next for you? You talked about Bellator being a little different. Is the plan to remain with Bellator, or what's next for you?
Well, right now I'm not allowed to publicly say anything, but we are in the works of something with Bellator. I just can't go over the details right now. I have to wait to make the announcement, and you guys will know when I know. So big things are coming. Big things are coming.
Well, it would be, and I love everyone over at Bellator, so I say this with love. It would be wrong of them to let you go elsewhere right now. I think you're one hell of an outstanding prospect, and at 23 years old, like I keep saying, you fought like a 10-year veteran in there. At 23, I mean, is this all hitting you? Like everyone's talking about Raul Rosas Jr. in the UFC this weekend, 18 years old. He says he's going to be a champion by 20. And then some people are saying pump the brakes. Others are saying, John Jones wasn't a champion until he was 23. For you, like at 23, but you've been doing this your entire life. Like, where are you at in terms of career, age? Are you like, all right, let's get this moving? Or you're like, I'm just going to take it fight by fight, step by step, and see how it progresses?
You cannot dwell on what you want all the time. You really have to trust the process. Like, I'm trusting the process, and I'm chill. Like, No nerves, no rushing, nothing. Everything's going the way it is supposed to go because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I guarantee you, everyone's gonna know me within less than a year. Everyone's gonna be crazy. Mac Judo, you just watch. It's gonna happen.
Well, if they didn't watch that Bellator 293, they're obviously missing out. That's why I said I'm happy to have a chance to talk to you already, because when Mac Judo is all over the world, I want to be like, hey, remember we talked right after your first fight? I don't want you, I'm not Ariel Helwani, but if I can talk to the next crop of rising stars, including yourself, I would absolutely love to do that. But I think that's smart, especially for someone like yourself who comes from such a respectful background and pedigree that you have, and you started off at such a young age. What molded you into that? Because, and this is no disrespect to any fighter like Raul Rosas or anyone else you could throw into this conversation, but I believe that sometimes young fighters who have early success want to be the youngest, want to be the first, want to break records, want to do all that, but they forget how quickly this game can change everything. You could be at the top of the mountain one day and then looking for a fight 6 months later in any promotion. So for you, how has being involved in combat sports your entire life molded you into being like, yeah, I'm not rushing?
Well, martial arts teaches you discipline, and with discipline comes patience, among a lot of other things. And I'm just saying, I'm not in a rush, but I'm not taking my time either. I'm just, like I said before, I'm kind of saying the same things, but I'm just doing the right things, and it's just falling into place because this is what I'm meant to do. Okay. I'm just meant to get that belt, to fight, just to be in this lifestyle. And I'm not rushing nothing. I have no weird thoughts about it. I am just in it to win it. So.
I'm going to change the conversation a little bit, not just talk about your career, not just talk about Bellator. I'm going to talk to you about the Midwest. I'm in Chicago, you're in Wisconsin, and too often we see, and it's not everywhere, but too often we see, and I'm going to speak for Illinois and Chicago specifically, we see fighters that are from here and from the Midwest, and they feel they need to go to one of the coasts, whether it's the West Coast or East Coast. They need to get with a big gym. They need to go to Vegas. And I feel that Midwest MMA could use more Mac Judos, could use some more homegrown talent. Do you feel like there's just talent that's not getting seen? Do we need more promotions in the Midwest? What do you think the Midwest could do to amp their game up a little bit?
There could be a little more, I think the promotion could be out there, but the truth is, in the Midwest, there's if you go to the gym, it's not going to be world champ standards. That's why at my gym, One Touch Fight Team, it's world champ standards. And that's why you see our team is 3 years running this summer. And we're 3 years, we have 2 pros, and we have a record that's the high 20s and a really high finishing rate. And it's just, I think it really just depends on the gym and just chances if it blows up or not. All the promoting you can do, I feel like a lot of normies people who don't do anything aren't going to think anything about it. I think it's just the one gym in the one small town, like our gym, goes viral on the big stage, and that's going to attract more.
To that point, how important is it to you as your career will progress and you will continue to do great things as you have shown you are capable of doing? How important is it to you to keep your team, keep your gym, and bring them along for the ride? Because once again, we see fighters who say that, and they say, this is my team and I'm never going to leave this team. And then the star gets a little bright, the stage gets a little bigger, and they're like, I got to go elsewhere.
Oh, how I feel about that?
Well, for you, how important is it for you to bring your team along this journey of your career?
It's very important. You hear it every day, but I mean it when I say I'm not leaving. You see what our amateurs can do. Our amateurs compared to pros because our coaches have world champion standards. Like, you cannot fight unless you prove to them. Like, all these other gyms, they're like, throw them out to the dogs and they get fucked up. But no, I'm staying with my gym. I trust my coaches. My teammates are like, sorry, my teammates really know what they're doing. They're really good. I am in a great I'm in a great atmosphere, and I'm not leaving. It would be stupid if I left. I go to any other gym, I guarantee you, they're not going to be as strict and technical as our coaches are.
I absolutely love that. But now I'm intrigued because I mentioned how, fighters leave, they go to other gyms. You asked, you want to know I do want to know your opinion on that. When fighters say they're bringing their team, their gym along, and then, like I said, the stage gets bigger, the star gets a little brighter, the spotlight shines more on them, and then they up and leave and they go to the bigger name gyms. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it depends on how they do it, to be honest. There shouldn't be any bad energy about leaving a gym if you do it in the right way. Don't be shady and just leave and be like, fuck you guys, and like promise them everything. No. Give them like just like a job. Give them 2 weeks. Be like, hey, I'm gonna be out here in 2 weeks, and just, I don't know, show your respect. Don't do it like an asshole. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I would agree, right? And I like that 2-week notice, because this is a job, this is a career. If you're doing it right, you would treat it like a career. So I absolutely love that. Let me just try to get to know Mackenzie a little bit better. And with that, what has been your favorite part about your martial arts journey? What has it done for you? Not just, in terms of accomplishments and records and all of that. What has been your favorite personal part about martial arts?
Well, I had a few, but I'm going to name just a couple that really stick with me. Well, when I was growing up, it's obviously therapy. And a lot of fighters say this, but it's true with everyone. It gets you through problems in life, and it's like your best friend. You can go do that, blow off steam. That's in martial arts when I was younger era. And in this area, MMA really boosted my confidence as a person, and I can trust my own decisions and not second guess myself. And I just love how confident I have became ever since I started like cage fighting MMA.
Yeah, and it's hard not to be confident when you're doing the things that you're doing. I don't want to be the cliche reporter, interviewer, whatever, but I do have to ask, because you do have a black belt in judo, and you are a woman fighting in mixed martial arts. You know where this is going. The one who really started off with judo and Ronda Rousey. Did you ever look at her in terms of how she opened up so many doors? And not that, okay, I want, and I'll never ask you, do you want to be the next? Because I know you're the first and only Mackenzie, the only Mac Judo. But as you were coming up in martial arts, what did a woman like Ronda, especially what she did in judo, what did she mean to you?
I'm not trying to be rude, but nothing. I meant nothing. I'm
No,
not rude. I'm just saying.
No. And listen, I asked, loving that answer though, because I have a different way of interviewing, and I'm not looking for a compliment to a Ronda or to whomever, but it allows the listeners and the viewers to get to know you and to hear that. I love that, because I do think often fighters want to attach themselves either to somebody before them or a story that may get them more attention. So for me, I love that answer, because I want to know who Mac Judo is. I want to know who Mackenzie Stiller is. And the fact that you're like, I'm doing this for me and I'm going to do it my own way, I absolutely love that.
Yeah, I don't really have an idol in fighting. The only people I really look up to are, I mean, of course, I love my teammates, but my two coaches, Brett Brendel and Vince DeSico, they're someone that I could really say I look up into life. Like, I look up to them. I mean, they're guiding me. They're guiding us, the team. They're just great people. And I don't really give a shit about any other fighters. Unless it's our fighters from our gym, then I give a shit. But anyone else, I don't really.
I love that. So that would mean, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that would mean it's a dangerous world for the women in your division, because you truly don't give a shit. And we both say that everyone's gonna know who you are within a year's time. That just kind of a warning to the rest of the division, would it not be?
I mean, yes. I mean, once I get my hands really dialed in and my striking, then like I said, unstoppable. They should be scared. I'm coming to take everything they have worked for, and it's gonna happen. It's going to. It's just right preparation.
I'm just ready for you and your next step to get announced. And obviously, who doesn't love having a fight announcement broken? But what I will say is that I think the future is completely bright for you. And I'm not asking about promotion. I'm not asking about location or anything like that, or opponents. But would you like your next fight to be closer to home? I know you got things that need to be, in the works, but Bellator did announce they're coming back to Chicago. You're not too far from there. Would you like to be close to home for your next fight?
Well, I would, of course. Who likes traveling? I don't.
See, that's different. I would say I would love, if I was a fighter, if I was a true fighter, I would travel everywhere. I don't travel, so.
I don't go out and do stuff. I stay at home or train. I don't like going out. I just, but Chicago, that show's already booked. It's been booked for like a month, which is expected. It's so close. But, I mean, I would like to have one close to home just to, I don't know. It's kind of like my home ground. It's always nice to fight where your people are,
Of course. What would your schedule be for the rest of this year?
Oh, like with training or
just how many more times would you like to fight this year?
Oh man, as much as possible, but I'm gonna fight as much as the contract says. Like I said, I'll make a big announcement when that happens, but me personally, as much as possible. I can have a 2-month turnaround rate,
And that's interesting, especially, someone who just got their, professional, they won in their professional debut. We talked about how you're kind of going around or about your path in this sport, especially now as a pro. Sometimes, younger fighters, they want to get in, they want to continue to grow in their career, and they want to fight as often as possible. And I love that. But sometimes, it's all about obviously doing it wisely. So I'll backtrack to, right after the win. What was the first, if you can, take me back to the first conversation with your coaches following the win? Is it just all celebratory? Is it game planning for what's next? Like, how was that?
This is funny. Of course, it was like that. Of course, they're saying like good job and everything, but like right away they're like, this is what we need to work on. This is what we're gonna work on. We're working on this, that, and you better be at practice. Like I said, standards. Like I was in the gym literally the Tuesday after my fight. I was back in the gym. I've trained every single day of this week. I actually have a workout gym at my job, and I've been working out every single lunch, just like I was in camp. So we're just still training. I mean, there's no freaking rest. I mean, there's rest days. There's no like fucking long week of celebrating, I mean, yes, I am able to like do more things that are enjoyable because I'm not in camp, but it's still discipline. Like I'm still showing up at practice and working out outside of practice. So the standards are still being held after a win. That's how you become world champion. You can't have no breaks.
I am literally, and I'm not just saying this, but I'm literally just in awe of your mentality and the way you carry yourself, because I can tell you, male or female, there's not many 23-year-olds coming off their professional win or debut win who are speaking and thinking the way you are. I can go around the world and there won't be many like you, if any, like you. With that, you talked about sharpening your skills, perfecting your craft, but you just mentioned another big word, and that's discipline. And I think whether you're coming off a winning your professional debut or you're 40 fights in, that word to me in this martial arts sport, in MMA, that is the most important word, is discipline, whether it's emotional, mental, physical, all three of them, and obviously technical discipline. All four of them need to have the boxes checked when you're in a fight. But for you, what's more important if you had to kind of put them on a balance beam? Would it be the discipline, or would it be perfecting your craft?
It's not just one. It's not just one or the other. It's all of it. Discipline is probably the biggest factor, but you also have to be sharpening your tool set. Like, you can't just be disciplined and then just go through practice willy-nilly. You have to know what you do in the cage and perfect that the most, and then work on the other things that surround your craft. It's just everything comes together in a big toolbox, and you use everything. You can't just stick to one or the other.
Like I said, I absolutely love your mindset in this, and you've made a fan out of me following your fight, but now having a chance to talk to you, I'm even more of a fan of just not only the fighter, but the person you are as well. What's your message to any fighter, any woman in your division who will stand across the cage from you in 2023 and beyond?
Nothing foul. It's all just obviously do your best, like every cliche, anything, but trust. If you're doing everything right, you should trust the process. Even if you feel like you're being defeated, if you're doing everything right and you know when you are and are not, obviously. If you're doing everything the way you're supposed to, just trust the process, and the results will show. Just keep doing it. Just doing everything right. Just be confident. I mean, what's the worst you can do? Like, what, lose a match? Just keep going.
Absolutely. You said the world will know you within a year's time.
Yep, maybe less.
I mean, if everything goes perfectly according to plan, it'd be less than a year. With that, is it champion in a year's time? Is it top 10 in a year's time? Top 5 in a year's time? Where does Mackenzie Stiller want to be?
I'm getting that belt. I am taking the belt. That's me. I hope after this contract, I get the belt. I have a chance to fight for the belt, and I am winning it, and I will be world champion.
I want to kind of circle back, and I won't keep you much longer. I do appreciate you making time for me today. I do want to kind of circle back to Bellator, because one thing I truly commend them on the most is they will find fighters like yourself, and they will grab them at the beginning stages of their career, and they will grow them. And sometimes they will fast track them. And every time I've had an opportunity to talk to those kind of fighters, they speak the world of how Bellator treats them. They know that they're putting them on the right path. No matter where your contract is, and this is not me poking for anything, this is me just eliminate the name of the promotion. How important is it to you to have a promotion that backs you, that supports you, that grabs you at the beginning of your career, has a talk with you and your team, and understands how you want to go about it, how you want your path to the top, and they work with you to get that? How important is it to have a promotion that's willing to work with you and listen to you?
That is very important, because first of all, it's another support system. They have your back and you have theirs. If you're not disloyal, which I'm loyal, I expect them to be the same. And just, I don't know. I mean, it's very nice, and it's just a respect thing. I respect them and they respect me. Loyalty and respect just creates that bond, and if it's the right bond, then it's it's unbreakable. I really respect that, and I will stick with them if they stick with me.
Well, I hope that this is not the first and last time we will ever speak. I'm excited for your announcement when it is ready to be announced, and hopefully we'll talk before your next fight. And Mackenzie Stiller, before I let you go, the last thing, what do you want the world to know about you?
Oh man. That I'm here for business, and that basically I'm gonna change the MMA world and everyone's gonna know of me. I just mean business. I'm here to do my thing, not to fuck around. I mean, there's not much to say. I'm just myself all the time. So it's just like I'm just here, It's great. I'm here.
It's a breath of fresh air because you don't, I mean, you probably do know, but on the media side of things, you don't know how many times a fighter says one thing but means a completely other thing, and they can't stick to them true self. So authenticity, I've always said it on this show, authenticity means the world to me. You've been nothing but authentic. You've been great to talk to. Really appreciate your time. Congrats on the win. I can't wait to see what's next for you.
Thank you. I really do appreciate you having me, and we will be talking again. So
For that.
Yeah.
Music to my ears. Thank you so much, Mackenzie. Can't wait to see Matt Judo back in action whenever the announcement is made. You will always have an invite on this show, and congratulations once again.
Thank you. Thank you.